The United States is pushing to regain its position as a center for semiconductor manufacturing and research as part of a Biden administration plan to make the nation less reliant on supply chains in Asia. VOA's Michelle Quinn reports from the southwest state of Arizona on competition for billions of dollars in federal funding to bolster domestic chip manufacturing.
These construction cranes are Arizona's future. Just north of downtown Phoenix, the Taiwanese chip giant TSMC is building a fabrication facility. TSMC's decision to build here comes as U.S. policymakers are working to bolster the domestic semiconductor industry with $54 billion in funding from the CHIPS and Science Act. Local leaders want the jobs and economic activity. Policymakers want critical parts of the semiconductor supply chain in the U.S. for economic and national security reasons. Arizona State University is among those applying for some of the additional $2 billion to advance the U.S. Department of Defense's microelectronics capabilities. University President Michael Crow.
We can't be reliant on a competing economic superpower for critical components in our own economic future.
For decades, Silicon Valley leaders relied on East Asia as its electronics manufacturing center. There are reasons so much manufacturing is in Asia, including costs. Arizona leaders say that the CHIPS Act may help offset the 30% extra costs it takes to build manufacturing plants in the U.S. compared to Asia. Sandra Watson is chief executive of Arizona's Economic Development Agency. She visited Taiwan earlier this year to pitch Arizona to 40 of TSMC's suppliers. 6 have already moved to Arizona.
We're working with a couple of dozen other suppliers from Taiwan specifically, but we're seeing companies from all over the world looking at establishing an operation here in Arizona.
Even as chip manufacturers and suppliers break ground here, creating a complete chip ecosystem inside the U.S. will be a challenge. Critical parts of the chip supply chain are still out of the country, says Chris Camacho with the Greater Phoenix Economic Council.
Today, whether it's packaging, substrates, the other components that go into the broader ecosystem, most of that manufacturing production is occurring offshore. Our goal is to have an end-to-end solution where the foundries all the way to inputting those chips into the advanced packaging infrastructure happens in the United States.
Arizona is already the 4th biggest semiconductor state in terms of jobs after California, Oregon, and Texas. TSMC's decision to come to Arizona, combined with Intel expanding its campus about 30 miles southeast of Phoenix, has created a new gravitational pull here. With semiconductor fabrication requiring industrial vacuums to move and treat chemicals, Edwards Vacuum is building a 200,000 square foot facility.
This validates Edwards' commitment to reshoring, to bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., to our commitment to our customer to be right there in their backyard.
It's a backyard filling up with chips. Michelle Quinn, VOA News, Phoenix, Arizona.